You know, back in the day, when I was just getting into photography, I was obsessed with gear. I thought bokeh and light flares were all you needed to create a stunning image. I loved researching new gear, watching my favorite YouTubers, and researching cool tech that could improve my image quality. I soon realized that while it does matter in some circumstances, most of the time simplicity is highly underrated. Well, after trying so many different types of lenses in my life, here are the 2 lenses that I recommend to you in 2025. A wide-angle lens and a standard zoom lens. With just these 2 lenses, I'm able to cover wide angles to telephoto shots. So after years of using prime lenses, different zoom lenses, I pretty much only have 2 in my kit now, and that is a 16-35 and a 24-70. Like, let's be honest, it's a pretty boring combo, but they offer a very versatile range from wide to very zoomed in. You see, the key is to focus on what you use the most. You don't want to get bogged down by so many different pieces of gear that you've spent so much money on and you hardly ever touch. This orange represents 16 millimeters all the way to 70 millimeters. And the reason why I'm using 16 to 70 is because those are pretty much the most common focal lengths that you can use to get anything done. Now let's say you cut this orange in half. You're left with 16 to 43 and 43 to 70. Now that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but just bear with me. So when you start cutting up this orange, you're gonna be left with different millimeters. And let's say you have a 16 millimeter over here, and then you have a 24 millimeter over here, a 35 and a 50, and so on, all the way up until about 70 or maybe even 85. If you have a 24 to 70 or like a 16 to 35 and then also a 24 to 70, you pretty much have the whole orange and you can take the whole orange with you. But if you have a whole bunch of different prime lenses, you have to take all of these prime lenses away with you individually, leaving behind other focal lengths. Or you could get yourself a really expensive backpack or a Pelican case and just bring all of your lenses with you, which to be honest is kind of annoying and really cumbersome. And yeah, I'm just out here making YouTube videos and I don't really need that. I'll just take the whole orange. Here's the thing. A lot of people get prime lenses because of the background blur, the bokeh, the f1.2. So many cameras these days, they can shoot high ISOs and you don't really have to worry too much about aperture as much anymore. Why would you get such an expensive lens when you can just create the depth of field rather than actually trying to rely on it being within the lens, you know what I mean? Depth of field, yeah, it can be created through having a low aperture, but it can also be created through having stuff in the foreground, having stuff in the background. That's actually how you create really good depth. One of my favorite creators, his name's Danny Gewirtz, and he shot so many of his projects just on a 24 to 70. You know, his stuff looks great. It looks awesome. You'd think that he'd be using prime lenses or like a more expensive camera or something like that, but no, he doesn't. He just uses a FX3 and a 24 to 70. And he's able to get some pretty incredible shots. So many cameras, they come with a kit lens that goes from 18 to 50 or whatever. You know, you can get a lot done with 18 to 50. You can shoot pretty much everything. You don't really need much more than that. You can create depth so easily. You don't actually need the low aperture. I mean, this plant is just here because I wanted to create some depth. Little tricks like that. You don't have to spend more money. That's why I really think that with 2.8, you can get a lot done, and it also gives you all of these different focal lengths that you have to play with. So, something to think about. I think every single creator goes through this. What do I need? You know, like, should I get the best? You know, what is the best within my budget? We watch like a million YouTube videos and go through Amazon and B&H and try to find the most affordable, best lenses that we can find. We try anamorphic lenses, and then we try really low aperture lenses, maybe even macro lenses. But what I've actually noticed is that every single professional photographer or videographer always ends up settling for just like a couple lenses, whether it be a 24 to 70 and a prime, a wide angle lens and a standard zoom lens. Over time, unless you get into like you're filming commercials and stuff like that, you might need a bit more gear. But every single like wedding photographer or you're like someone's shooting sports or you're shooting events, they always end up having like 1 or 2 lenses. And even for me, over time, I've just realized I just want something that works really well. You know, I'm more here for convenience. And that's why I think having 2 standard zoom lenses is just really all you need. So now if you are more of a beginner and you're looking for lenses that kind of fit within the budget, I would highly recommend anything from Tamron or Sigma. The Tamron 17-28, super good lens. Like I had that lens for so long, I shot so much content with it. They're 28-75, like you get that extra 5 millimeters all the way to 75. Works really well, and it's a really light lens and it's affordable. And if you want something like a step above that, I would recommend the Sigma 24-70. It's a bit bulkier, it's heavier, but the image you get is just extremely high quality. As content creators, you kind of have to learn all of the rules of how to make good content. Storytelling, composition, editing, lighting, audio, all of these things really play into creating a great story and creating a great video. So in the end, it's all about application. Whether you're shooting weddings, sports, or dance videos, understanding your needs and the role of lighting and composition is crucial. So I know I said 2 lenses, but you could really get away with 1. You know, you don't really need more than 1 lens, to be honest. For creators out there, I would say focus more on honing in on your skills. You know, all these other skills I just talked about. If you focus on those things, improving on those other elements of video, your videos are just gonna get better and you won't even have to upgrade your gear.